Welcome to my YouTube channel. Every coin has a history where history meets hidden fortune. Here I share real videos of rare and old coins, including pieces worth millions that can truly change a collector's life. If you love coin hunting, rare finds, and valuable treasures, this channel is your guide to the world of priceless coins. The United States Presidential $1 Coin Program, 2007-2016, was one of the most ambitious modern coin programs in American history, created to honor the presidents of the United States while also encouraging the public to use $1 coins in everyday commerce, and this program officially began in 2007 under the authority of the Presidential $1 Coin Act of 2005, with the main rule being that only deceased presidents could be honored, and at least 2 years must have passed since their death, which automatically excluded living presidents such as Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and others. The coins were released in the exact chronological order of presidential service, starting with George Washington, followed by John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and James Madison in 2007, with 4 coins issued each year, and each coin featured a portrait of the president on the obverse, their name, years in office, and order number, while the reverse design remained the same throughout the program, showing the Statue of Liberty, symbolizing freedom and democracy. One of the most unique features of this series was that, unlike traditional U.S. coins, the date, mint mark P, D, or S, and the motto, E pluribus unum, were placed on the edge of the coin, a modern innovation that made these dollars instantly recognizable and highly collectible, though it also led to famous mint errors where some coins were released without edge lettering, known as godless dollars, which became very popular among collectors. From 2007 to 2011, the coins were produced for general circulation, but due to low public demand, largely because paper $1 bills remained widely used, the U.S. Mint decided to stop circulating production after 2011, and from 2012 to 2016, presidential dollars were minted only for collectors, available in rolls, bags, and proof sets, significantly reducing mintages and increasing collector interest. During the full run of the program, coins were issued for presidents from George Washington 1st through Ronald Reagan 40th, with Gerald Ford 38th included in 2016, while Jimmy Carter, George H. W. Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and Donald Trump were not eligible during this time because they were living. An important exception occurred in 2012, when no presidential dollar coin was issued, because there was no eligible president to honor that year following Ronald Reagan's coin in 2016. Correction. Reagan was honored in 2016, but 2012 had no eligible release due to program timing adjustments, making it a unique gap in the series. Throughout the program, special proof versions were struck at the San Francisco Mint, featuring mirror-like fields and frosted designs, while Philadelphia P and Denver D mints produced business strikes, and the overall metal composition remained consistent at 88.5% copper, 6% zinc, 3.5% manganese, and 2% nickel, giving the coins their distinctive golden color despite containing no actual gold. Historically, the Presidential $1 Coin Program is significant not only for its educational value, introducing Americans to lesser-known presidents, but also as a case study in modern U.S. coinage economics, demonstrating the challenges of replacing paper currency with coins in the United States. And today these coins, especially low-mintage collector-only issues from 2012-2016, proof coins, error coins, and complete date and mint sets, hold growing interest for numismatists worldwide, including collectors like you who focus on U.S. coins for historical value, rarity, and long-term preservation rather than daily use. From a deeper historical and numismatic perspective, the Presidential $1 Coin Program during the key years 2007 through 2016 represents a full narrative of how the United States attempted to reconnect modern citizens with presidential history through everyday objects, and when the program began in 2007, it was introduced with enormous expectations, strong media attention, and large mintages because the U.S. Mint believed that honoring iconic figures such as George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and James Madison would naturally drive public enthusiasm. Yet despite the artistic quality and historical symbolism of these coins, the American public continued to favor the traditional $1 paper bill, which deeply affected circulation success. The year 2007, as the foundation year, is especially important for collectors because it not only introduced the series but also produced some of the most famous modern U.S. mint errors, including the missing edge lettering varieties where inscriptions such as, "In God We Trust," and "E Pluribus Unum," were absent, an error that turned otherwise common coins into highly sought-after collectibles and sparked renewed interest in coin roll hunting across the country. As the years progressed, the program continued steadily, releasing 4 presidents annually, and by the time the series reached the 2010-2011 period, public circulation demand had dropped so low that millions of coins remained stored in Federal Reserve vaults, leading the U.S. Mint to make a historic decision to end general circulation production after 2011, shifting the entire program into a collector-only format from 2012 to 2016. Which dramatically reduced mintages and quietly transformed later issues into semi-key and key dates for long-term collectors. The 2016 presidential $1 coins, featuring Ronald Reagan, 40th President, and Gerald R. Ford, 38th President, are especially significant because they represent the final chapter of the program, symbolizing both the completion of the chronological presidential sequence available at the time and the end of an era in U.S. commemorative circulating coinage, with these coins being sold mainly in rolls, bags, and proof sets rather than seen in everyday transactions, making them far scarcer in circulation than the widely produced 2007 issues. Numismatically, the contrast between 2007 and 2016 is striking. 2007 coins exist in massive numbers but are historically important as first issues, while 2016 coins exist in far smaller quantities, giving them stronger scarcity appeal despite their younger age, a factor that many collectors believe will influence future market values. Beyond numbers and mintages, the artistic consistency of the program, with Don Everhart's Statue of Liberty reverse and engraved edge lettering, created a unified visual identity that makes complete presidential sets especially attractive when displayed in albums or custom holders. And for historians, these coins collectively form a metallic timeline of American leadership, reflecting changing public attitudes toward currency, technology, and commemoration. Today, as interest in physical currency continues to compete with digital payments, the presidential $1 coin program stands as an important experiment in modern U.S. mint history, and for collectors, educators, and YouTube creators who focus on coins and American history, the 2007-2016 Presidential Dollar Series remains a rich subject that blends politics, art, economics, and national identity into a single, continuous story struck in metal. Another important dimension of the 2007-2016 United States presidential $1 coin program is its long-term educational, cultural, and collectible impact, because unlike traditional commemorative coins that are often produced in limited themes or single events, this program attempted to build a continuous historical narrative that allowed Americans to literally hold the faces of their past leaders in their hands, starting from the nation's founding era and moving steadily toward modern times, and this chronological structure made the series especially valuable for students, historians, and young collectors who could visually connect each president to a specific period in U.S. history. The decision to place the date, mint mark, and national mottos on the coin's edge rather than on the obverse or reverse was not only a design innovation but also a symbolic gesture, separating the presidential dollars from earlier coinage traditions and aligning them more closely with international coin standards, though this same feature unintentionally created variability and error types that would later define the series in collector markets. Economically, the program highlighted a long-standing challenge in the United States: the resistance to replacing paper currency with coins. Despite the fact that dollar coins last significantly longer and are cheaper over time, and by the time the final issues were released in 2016, It had become clear that the program's success would be measured not by circulation usage but by its numismatic legacy. Coins from later years, especially those minted after the transition to collector-only production, are now frequently preserved in higher grades because they were not heavily circulated, increasing the likelihood that future collectors will encounter near-mint or proof examples rather than worn pieces. When viewed as a complete set, the presidential $1 coins serve as a physical archive of American leadership, reflecting shifts in political power, public memory, and national values, and for modern collectors, particularly those outside the United States who collect American coins, the 2007 and 2016 presidential dollars act as bookends to a unique experiment in coinage history, marking both the hopeful beginning of a bold monetary idea and the quiet conclusion of a program whose true value may only be fully recognized decades in the future. From the standpoint of modern U.S. coin collecting and historical preservation, the presidential $1 coin program, especially when examined through the lens of its opening year 2007 and its concluding phase in 2016, also reveals how public memory is shaped not only by textbooks and monuments but by everyday objects that circulate, disappear, and later re-emerge as collectibles, because the early enthusiasm surrounding the 2007 releases encouraged millions of Americans to begin saving complete presidential sets, coin rolls, and mint-sealed bags, many of which remain untouched today, creating an unusually large population of well-preserved early issues, while at the same time the later collector-only years quietly produced coins that were never meant for wallets or cash registers but for albums and vaults, shifting the identity of the series from circulating money to curated history. This transition fundamentally altered how collectors evaluate the program, as value is now determined less by face value utility and more by historical context, mintage figures, condition, and completeness of sets, making full date and mint collections, proof runs from San Francisco, and certified high-grade examples particularly desirable. Culturally, the portraits chosen for each president, rendered in a consistent yet individualized style, helped standardize how modern Americans visually imagine figures such as Washington, Jefferson, Lincoln's successors, and finally Reagan and Ford, embedding these images into popular consciousness in a way similar to how earlier generations associated Lincoln with the penny or Washington with the quarter. When the program effectively ended in 2016, it left behind a closed chapter of numismatic storytelling, one that cannot be expanded until future presidents pass away and become eligible, which adds a sense of finality and anticipation to the series. For collectors, historians, and content creators alike, the presidential $1 coin program now stands as a completed framework through which the evolution of American leadership, mint technology, and public attitudes toward money can be studied, and over time, as fewer untouched sets remain and historical distance grows, the significance of the 2007 beginning and the 2016 conclusion is likely to increase, reinforcing the series' role as both a financial artifact and a lasting educational legacy of the United States. In an even broader sense, the presidential $1 coin program, framed by its historic launch in 2007 and its quiet close in 2016, can be understood as a mirror of changing American attitudes toward history, money, and national identity in the early 21st century, because while the program was officially justified as a cost-saving alternative to the $1 bill, its deeper impact lay in how it attempted to reintroduce historical awareness into daily life at a time when physical cash itself was beginning to lose relevance due to digital payments and electronic banking. The early coins of 2007 entered circulation during a period when Americans still commonly used cash, and their bright golden color and unfamiliar edge lettering made them stand out, prompting curiosity, conversation, and in many cases the deliberate act of saving them as keepsakes. Whereas by the time the final issues were struck in 2016, the social environment had shifted toward cashless transactions, meaning that these later presidential dollars were created almost entirely for preservation rather than use, effectively transforming them into historical metals with a legal tender face value. This contrast gives the series a unique dual identity, as it began as a circulating currency experiment and ended as a collector-focused historical archive, and that evolution itself has become part of the story collectors now study. Viewed decades from now, the presidential $1 coin program may be remembered less for its failure to replace the paper dollar and more for its success in producing a complete, orderly, and accessible visual record of U.S. presidents up to the late 20th century, encapsulated in metal. And for serious numismatists, educators, and enthusiasts, the coins from 2007 through 2016 will continue to serve as tangible evidence of a moment when the United States attempted to blend economics, history, and national symbolism into a single long-running coinage project whose true cultural value continues to grow with time.